What's going on, everybody? It's just another day in the kitchen, back with another episode, and in today's video we'll be taking a look at Kanye West's lost and forgotten Yeezy Jewelry collection, exploring what happened, as well as some updates on those Yeezy Pods. Now before we get started, I wanted to give a special shout out to the homie Strain Beats, who's been cooking up the beats for these videos, so make sure you check them out. And while you're here, you might as well drop a like and subscribe and join our free Discord to stay up to date with the latest and the greatest. Shout out to all of my chefs in there. Now today's video takes us back exactly 7 years to April of 2017, a completely different era in the sneaker and streetwear landscape in which Yeezy and Adidas dominated damn near everything, apart from Virgil Abloh and his Off-White 10 collection, rest in peace to my guy. Now it was shortly after Kanye had debuted his Yeezy Season 4 collection, which would go on to feature some familiar faces such as Playboy Cardi here, while also debuting upcoming pieces for the season and also sharing some upcoming news. Now it was to everyone's surprise when Ye announced an upcoming collaboration with the famous Jacob & Co. to produce an upcoming jewelry line which was supposed to represent timeless love, at least according to Ye at the time. And just for context and setting the tone, he was of course married to Kim back in 2017, so this might have had something to do with the direction of this collaboration. Now unfortunately we don't have a whole lot more information about this random collaboration between Ye and Jacob & Co. other than the fact that it was also mentioned that the inspiration behind some of these pieces was 14th century Florentine art, which when thinking about and comparing it to Kanye's Jesus is King era, I can definitely see that whole religious artwork influence, at least in the creative direction at the time, so perhaps he had a similar vibe, at least when it came to the inspiration. Now, if you had $1,500 and some change 7 years ago and you were interested in picking up a piece from this Yeezy Jacob & Co. collaboration, you of course could get your hands on these pieces at yeezysupply.com. Interestingly enough, Kanye would go on to upload all 12 pieces from this collection to his website, which you guys will see throughout the rest of this video. And apparently the collaboration was also available on Jacob & Co.'s website, with the rest of the collection seemingly only being available online, which I think is pretty bold, especially given the price points of some of these pieces. However, I'm sure some super fans that had some big money definitely supported. Now, as far as my favorite piece from this Yeezy Jewelry collection, which again is Kanye's first official jewelry collection, just to remind you, it's probably this dope little ring right here, which was only running you a cool 4 bands 7 years ago. And unfortunately, while I didn't have the money back then, nor do I have it right now, just to keep it real with you, I think it would have been a dope little pickup and something tasteful from this collection. And while I'm not super hip to the gold market and the price of things, I know since this video the price of gold has probably skyrocketed, so it's up to you guys to let me know in the comments if any of these prices were actually a good deal. Now this piece right here along with another are probably one of the more expensive or the most expensive pieces from this first Yeezy Jewelry collection, which as you can see back then would have cost you a cool $10,000. And while I acknowledge that this collaboration is for 12 pieces crafted in 18 karat gold with the famous Jacob & Co. jeweler, I'm genuinely not sure if these prices are fair or if they're a bit inflated given the nature of the collaboration. With that being said though, I'd love to know again in the comments if you guys think any of these pieces are worth it, and if you would have picked them up all those years ago. And if you're looking for some dope affordable merch that's not going to cost you a small down payment on a house, head on over to wedontcookfood.com and consider supporting the channel. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this Yeezy Jewelry collection has seemingly been forgotten to time, as when I was doing research for this video, I really didn't find a whole lot of information regarding this collection beyond when it first dropped and a couple of photos of Kim wearing it during the beginning of Yeezy Season 4. And while I already know Ye had a very large and growing fan base back in 2017 when this collection initially dropped, it wouldn't surprise me if the very high retail prices were simply too out of reach and too out of touch with 99% of his fans and consumers. Because although I would have loved to spend $13,000 to support my boy with a dope little chain and pendant like this, back in 2017, I think most fans of Ye would have been happy to just get their hands on the latest pair of Yeezys, such as those Yeezy Zebras. Now, with all that being said, I've hardly found that these pieces come up in the secondary market, so it also makes me wonder if people were just not copying them, or if the people that did simply aren't reselling because they probably don't need to. And while we haven't seen the Yeezy brand return to the jewelry industry since this drop a whole 7 years ago, I'd love to see what Kanye would cook up today and see how he would challenge the game and the norms of jewelry. And I'd love to see if he would also price his new creations at $20 and keep it consistent. Now, with all that being said, I thought that this would be an interesting Kanye-related topic to cover, given that I've never seen anyone talk about it, and I remember this drop very fondly, as it reminded me just how broke I was at the time, and still am today. And I also wanted to highlight that this would not be the first time that Ye and Jacob & Co. would collaborate, as the two had worked together on Kanye's jewelry for My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, as well as creating this now iconic Murakami Jesus piece that would also go on to inspire Kanye's protege here, aka La Flame. And if you guys want a video breaking down their jewelry history, let me know in the comments, because I feel like that one would be a fun one to cover as well. Now, as far as Yeezy Pod updates, apparently some people have been receiving this communication from Yeezy customer service, in which they acknowledge they're fulfilling orders in the order in which they were placed. So hang tight, apparently this is true, however I don't believe it myself. Now, with regards to updates on Vultures Volumes 2 and 3 albums, we have the following regarding the Egypt listening party, in which the venue announces something may be announced in the future, so take that with a grain of sand. And I have seen some Yeezy related fan pages and blogs report that the Yeezy app is in development and will be finished soon, with of course the intention that Kanye would then drop the new albums on those apps exclusively. Now, no one knows of course when those albums will drop, if ever, and the man has seemingly been doing whatever he wants, living his best life, most recently hanging out with Young Lean here, seen doing it up at Disney, so do with that information what you will. Now, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments. I know that things are definitely dry, and we're in the middle of dry season in regards to Yeezy updates, so I thought that you guys would appreciate learning something new about this Yeezy jewelry collection, if nothing more. As always, guys, thank you so much for cooking with the kitchen. Let me know what you guys would like to see me cover next. Remember to stay safe out there, and remember, it's lit. Straight up, and peace.